Good morning. As I ring our bowl this morning, allow the vibration to quiet your heart and your mind and open yourself to the reflection of the day.
This is Mother Nature's
So again, good morning and welcome to our sanctuary today. We invite you here to explore your own spiritual path, and we celebrate this. This is a place where we encourage diversity and where we invite conversation. We come here to be reminded of and to practice standing on the side of love, peace, and compassion. And I like to keep that in my mind each Sunday morning as I'm driving here. That's why I come. Welcome visitors, friends, members. Thank you all for coming to listen and share with each other. May you find wisdom in our words this morning and friendship in our community. We like to join together afterwards for coffee and conversation. We have many people to thank this morning and every Sunday for their contribution to our service. And so I want to mention Michael and our chorus, who are going to not only lead us in music this morning, but share some music. Our greeters and our coffee makers who were here to welcome us and feed us. Catherine and her planning and dedication and sharing. Thank you. And our tech team for your planning. We have some new things this morning we're working through, and your constant support. So thank you all. I want to mention that Earth Day is this coming Wednesday, so you'll notice that our theme today is all about the earth, as it was last week as well. I'd love for the month of April to focus on that as we watch our space unfold back into life. You'll notice that some of our music today we did last week as well, but it's perfect music for us to just celebrate with, so in practice. So we love it. I do have a couple of announcements. Let's see, April 26th, after our Sunday service, The historian Kevin Hernstock will talk about the lynching of James Taylor, which was a horrible incident in 1892. Lunch will be provided, and offerings of that day will go to the Sumner Hall for the James Taylor Justice Coalition. The dedication of the James Taylor historical marker will take place on the anniversary of that event, which was will be Sunday, May 17th, at Emmanuel Church in Chestertown. And if you need more information about that event, it'll be provided in next week's talk. Okay. UUCR will also host a table and family book reading tent at the Chestertown Pride Festival. The festival will take place in Wilmer Park from 1 to 5 on Saturday, May 2nd. The committee welcomes volunteers to help greet people at our table. And so please see Joan or Eileen if you would like to help. All right. And one more announcement from the Sanctuary Committee. Our Sanctuary Committee is looking specifically at our sanctuary and how we might modify some things, particularly right now, to help our tech team become more integral to our service as we're making some changes. And so we're going to be trying a new setup for technology, moving them into the middle of the sanctuary for this purpose and some other things. And that is going to be the first weekend of May that we try that, okay? And we would love some feedback as we do that on that day. All right. And now for our chalice lighting this morning. You'll notice in your order of service that we have two new sets of words, one in English and one in Spanish. I'm going to lead us in the English first, and then Catherine is going to share the Spanish with us. And if you speak Spanish, please feel welcome to speak that second version with Catherine. Which we all are. We pledge to care for what it needs and hold it in our heart.
Encendemos este cáliz por la tierra, a la cual pertenecemos, prometemos cuidarla y lavarla en el corazón.
Thank you. I heard a few voices with that. All right, and now let us join together. Please stand as you are willing and able for the hymn number 61 in your gray hymnal, Lo, the Earth Awakes Again.
Hallelujah.
So for opening words this morning, I'm taking them from the book, The Lost Gospel of the Earth, which I read years ago. It's a lovely book. But they are a poem written by Maya Angelou, and it's a little shorter than her total poem, but I thought it was really beautiful for today and bringing us into the consideration of our planet. So I'll share these with you. On the Pulse of the Morning, it's called. A rock, a river, a tree, host to species long since departed, marked the mastodon, the dinosaur who left dried tokens of their sojourn here on our planet floor. Any broad alarm of their hastening doom is lost in the gloom of dust and ages. But today the rock cries out to us, clearly, forcefully, "Come, you may stand upon my back and face your distant destiny." Our distant destiny. Across the wall of the world, a river sings a beautiful song. It says, "Come, rest here by my side. Each of you, a bordered country, delicate and strangely made proud, yet thrusting perpetually under siege. Your armed struggles for profit have left collars of waste upon my shore, currents of debris upon my breast. Yet today I call you to my riverside, if you will study war no more. Come, clad in peace, and I will sing the songs the Creator gave to me when I and the tree and the rock were one. Before cynicism was a bloody sear across your brow, and when you yet knew you were still nothing, the river sang and sings on. There is a true yearning to respond to the singing river and the wise rock. So say the Asian, the Hispanic, the Jew, the African, the Native American, the Sioux, the Catholic, the Muslim, the French, the Greek, the Irish, the rabbi, the priest, the sheik, the gay, the straight, the preacher, the privileged, the homeless, the teacher. They all hear the speaking of the tree. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place new steps of change. Here on the pulse of this fine day, you may have the courage to look up and out and upon me, the rock, the river, the tree, your country, no less to Midas than the mendicant, no less to you now than the mastodon then. Here on the pulse of this new day, you may have the grace to look up and out and into your sister's eyes and into your brother's face, your country, and say simply, very simply, with hope, good morning. Now, time for centering.
Thank you, Kim, for sharing the words and the poetry and the sage and artist of art's aesthetic force, Maya Angelou. Friends, let's take this breath into this moment and this early celebration of Earth Day. In a posture of meditation, may we acknowledge and dismiss any fleeting thoughts that come into our mind. I promise it will wait for you at the end of this hour. Gently recenter into our meditation together with breaths in and out. We have here images of Earthrise, one from the Apollo mission. The aesthetic force of this image is part of what helped create and help people understand themselves, humanity, and our relationship to the world differently. This image is credited with changing worldviews and opening minds to the depth of our interdependence. With its inspiration and the organization of a pre-existing anti-war movement, flowed beautifully into the emerging environmental movement, resulting today in a continuation of what was originally a one-time protest event, Earth Day. The second is from the recent Artemis mission. The impact of this image is yet to be. Will it reinforce our need to care for the planet? Will the astronauts' descriptions of the lone blue dot and the expansive blackness of space call us to heal our home? Call us to a new unity of humanity and life? Or will it spur versions of off-planet living in space and a final separation and disconnection from the intricate web of life on Earth? Authors and cultural leaders, Sarah Lewis, Charles Black, and even all the way back to Frederick Douglass, describe aesthetic force as more than the beauty of the image, and these are beautiful. But the impact of those images on our thinking. Aesthetic force is the potential of an image to ignite a thought picture, the critical or moral imagination in deep acts of novel meaning-making. Images with aesthetic force create inner elasticity and invite an appreciation of reality in a different way. In fact, some really aren't beautiful. One of the most impactful aesthetic force images was images of a slave ship that showed the brutal inhumanity of the transatlantic slave trade. And that image is credited with ending it. Sometimes pictures open our minds, and it gives us a way to literally perceive a whole new world. This image helped create that environmental movement, and it showed us how Earth is our beautiful home. It showed our interdependence in a deeply incontrovertible way. What we think of as someone too far away is really just on the same blue dot. So I invite you to take some gentle, restful breaths, gaze at the pictures, imagine the systems of life that make Earth and life work here. The water cycle, the carbon cycle, the buffering system of acid rain, rocks, ions in the ocean, life that creates food from sun and water and carbon dioxide, life that draws up minerals from within the earth, in symbiosis and interdependence. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is truly ever disconnected from anything else. And as we gaze at these images of Earthrise, may we say, good morning, and recognize that we are all siblings. May we recognize the calling of our connections to rock and river and tree.
And now is the time that we bring forth our acknowledgments of the heart, our joys and our concerns. And I want to light our first candle this morning in honor of our earth, our home, and offer prayers or meditations specifically for our public lands and seas that have in the recent past been protected and are now being looked at for exploitation, and may may grace surround them and help us to maintain that protection. And now's the time for our offering. And while we are having our offering, our choir is going to come up and share Beauty of the Earth with us.
I believe we are expecting you to join us. It's 21 in the great hymnal.
Not this one.
No, this is
Okay. Thank you for all your gifts today. All right. So now, before our sermon begins, we are going to do a responsive sort of story and song. Our choir is going to help us with the song piece. The response will be up here on our wall, and they're going to lead us in that musical part. I'm going to narrate between each piece of music. Almost ready. My phone is giving me a hard time. Okay. So extravagant is nature, with her choicest treasures spreading beauty as she spreads sunshine, pouring it forth onto the land and sea, garden and desert. The beauty of lilies falls on angels and men, bears and squirrels, birds and bees. But as far as I have seen, man alone and the animals he tames destroy the garden. Lumbering bear and trampling deer saunter and feed over the land, yet never a lily have I seen spoiled by them.
Children of earth, heirs of all time, treasures of beauty are ours to find.
Whether my writing vanishes like fallen leaves or goes to friends in letters, it is nothing compared to the sight of this great wilderness. No pain here, no dull, empty hours, no fear of the past or future. The blessed mountains are filled with God's beauty, with no room for our petty hopes and illusions. Breathing the living air, every moment of limbs is a pure pleasure. We enter this place with our whole flesh, our souls transparent as crystals.
Living abounds, rich in design, born of a crucible deep in time.
As I wander through the solemn woods in silence, I hear an inner voice cry out, "Fear not. All suffering here is just gristmill flour. Man has such trouble gaining food for life, but here it is given in abundance and all are fed. Why do we sleep in paltry chambers when there is the spacious magnificence of the starry sky, the fragrance of fir groves? Here, water gathered from all the mountains makes music that could draw angels from the heavens to listen."
Earth is our home, our legacy, lovers and guardians may we be.
Thank you. And now, Catherine will share some words with us this morning.
Thank you, choir, and thank you for our sung responsorial. Spirit of life, spirit of earth, spirit of all that breathes and all that is, we love you. We love this planet and its people and its beings, and we love this interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. We love it all, and we want it all to be well and blessed and healthy. But we are human, and as a people, our hearts are still small. So often our love and our sincere desire for the well-being of all is not yet enough to restrain our collective desire for more for ourselves, more money, more power, more things. So often we act in service of that desire for more in ways that harm our fellow human beings and in countless beings with whom we share this earth. And even so, often we would do otherwise. We feel powerless. The problems are so big and the scale so enormous. What can one person or group really do? But today, let our prayer be for hope, for a commitment to stay in the struggle, and to do what is right the best we can each day, and to love you. Spirit of earth and ocean, rocks and stars, beings of every kind, not least our human neighbors. to love the glorious whole as we love ourselves. For we are you, and you are us. Blessed be. This is an Earth Day prayer from my colleague, Reverend Dr. Laura Horton Ludwig. And this Earth Day we gather. Today my remarks are inspired by Rebecca Solnit's new book, The Beginning Comes After the End. And I think the title grabbed me because we live in tumultuous times on the beautiful small dot. We live in a time when some people have obtained power and use that power to support living in the quest of more money, more power, more things. We live in a time when white religious nationalism is seeking to erase the accomplishments of people with marginalized identity, to erase those among us who are Black, brown, or persons of color, BIPOC, while white religious nationalists live in terror of 2030, when the US is predicted to be majority non-white. To erase the ways of living in harmony and honoring the very symbiosis that is our nature. Erase the ways that many indigenous cultures that rose to leadership in the environmental movement. Erase the beautiful diversity of gender and sexuality that human beings express. This beautiful part of our humanity has always been with us, and there are so many examples of sexual and erotic expression throughout the animal kingdom beyond a binary. The insistence that the only way to exist is a binary, a male or female, does not describe life. Hermaphrodites and sexual minorities are always a part of life. And the next time someone says that sexual diversity isn't natural, maybe it may help to remember that there's a fungus said to have 23,000 sexes. I cannot get much more non-binary. Erase the accountability of humanity's impact on this earth and the resulting climate change, threatening our civilizations, life, and Earth itself. Trying so hard to erase the call of rock and river and tree. Yet, we know that the beginning comes after the end, and all these attempts at erasure are a fight to end a way of life that categorizes people, a way of domination, a way where might makes right, and a way of isolation and false independence. I know I have lived that way. Have you? Can you remember what it felt like? And yet, like spring, the beginning comes after the end. Can you feel the call of the rock and the river and the tree? Can you feel it in your heart? Can you feel it in your body? Can you feel it as an awareness as throughout your mind? We have so many ways of knowing, and they are powerful expressions of the processes of life. The process and relationship from the whole earth to the microbes in and on our bodies. Even our minds, as taught by Professor and author Daniel Siegel, are emergent, self-organizing, embodied, relational processes that regulate the flow of energy and information. Because we know the beginning comes after the end, there are fundamental truths that cannot be erased. The truth of that is that the earth is home to every one of us, home to every animal, plant, microbe, and more, home to life itself. A paper called A Symbiotic View of Life, We've Never Been Individuals, describes how the essential interactive relationships between species actually blurs the boundaries of what an organism is. It obscures the notion of a central identity. What exactly is an individual? We are so deeply entwined at the most basic level that I am not only me by weight. I am more bacteria, viruses, and fungi than cells with human DNA. And I could not live without them. and neither can you. The health of our microbiome is vital and largely was unknown until a generation ago, at least at some level. A way this impacts us as humanity is our microbiome is unique to us, to place. It gives us the nutrition we need. The relationship makes more available to us from the same resources. We don't have to use more, but we can have more available in relationship. And many indigenous, and I just want to name what that really means, is to be of a place. Indigenous cultures just means cultures of a place, right? Have very specific food pairings that allow optimal nutrition with minimal consumption. While they knew that, what science is now telling us is that's because it helps feed the right microbiome that helps them thrive in that place. Just because science can explain it doesn't mean it was any less wisdom. And we've actually known it for thousands of years. We just didn't know we know it, right? We have so many ways of knowing that the beginning comes after the end. Beginnings emerge in this time with truly ancient roots. Our ancestors knew that those specific or sacred foods varied by place and are a type of relationship with the earth, with life. What grows there? What nutrients are abundant? And what is more life-limiting? We partner with other life to breathe air. Air we don't make. It's a symbiotic relationship with the plant life of this planet and other gas producers to make the oxygen that we need. We're in relationship with photosynthetic organisms that feed us, and other bacteria and fungi that remove our waste and return it to the nutrient cycle. I wonder, what other relationships do we not yet know? What other wonders await our discovery? Yet this is just the start of our interdependence. Even if we assume that I am just one thing, which I hope I've planted a seed of maybe, maybe not, right? Instead of hosting a whole biome of life as a human, I am interdependent. Food, housing, companionship, community. We all need this. We need to be cared for when we're sick. We need to play and make music and practice joy and so much more. And doing it in relationship, we can enrich our lives and live this one wild, wonderful, beautiful life. Recognizing the whole planet is in relationship with each other, in interdependence and symbiosis with the earth, will lead to sustainable living. No matter where we go, we need to feed generations to come through the essential recycling of the most basic of elements: nitrogen, phosphorus, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen. Lynn Margolis and James Lovelock took a deep symbiotic view of the planet itself in the Gaia hypothesis in the 1970s. And they described the earth as I wonder if you can hear the resonance between this and the definition of the mind I use, right? The earth is a beautiful, grand, self-regulating system that's homeostatic despite changing conditions. There is no place on this beautiful planet that we can poison and not have it return to us. We are all a part of the system. Socially, we know the beginning comes after the end because the truth Rebecca Solnit teaches us is that you can take away rights, but you cannot take away ideas. You can't take away the ideas that we deserve those rights. You can't take away the ideas that we deserve life in all its undefinable glory. You can't take away our glorious interdependence and our ability to transform. We are relational processes. We are a walking story. All of you are part of my story, and I am part of yours. Every place on this earth that has nurtured and sustained us and taught us are parts of our story. This travels across time and place, and it has nurtured our ancestors, are part of our story too. And I bet if we touch most places on that beautiful planet with the scope of our stories and connections, we come back to rock, river, and tree. Eventually, we will turn the gifts to this planet back to the earth, and they will be used for the next emergence of life. And while I don't know the future or how this will work out, I do believe we are living through a backlash to the transformational forces that have reshaped our social world. We are living through the end and creating the next beginning together. The transformational forces pursuing, however imperfectly, gender equity and rights. If I'm really honest, I had no concept of what transgender was in my teens. It was not a thing in my world. As limiting as that is, and today I do. That is a transformational change. Transformational forces seeking to heal the impacts of racism while teaching that race is a lie. Now, y'all know I love science, and so much of science was used to perpetuate the lie of race in horrible, horrible ways. And there is movements afoot to do it again. Not on my watch. No, it is a lie. It is a terrible, painful lie. Transformational forces that teach of technology that makes so much possible in many ways in previously inconceivable scales. Transformational forces that teach us that love is love and we are inherently worthy. I don't need another savior. I'm on a transformational process every day. I need to be open to my transformation. My salvation is in my relational processes with this world, with each other, and with my wholeness. My transformational process to honor our deep interconnection to each other and all life and the earth itself. Transformational processes are essential for life, and life is interdependent and connected in deeply mysterious ways. Can we feel that? In our lives, the times when we are most healthy, grounded, strong, and resilient, when we're in healthy relationships, interdependent and transformative. None of us can do everything, and we can meet our needs of working together in symbiosis, mutuality, and communalism. We thrive together. When I was young, we thought of trees as roots, trunks, leaves, branches. It seems fair. Now we understand some trees can span acres and are interconnected through their roots. Are they really one tree? Maybe, sometimes. Trees are in relationship, even when they're different species, through the mycelium that connects them underground and distributes nutrients to help all thrive. Lumber companies have a history of inadvertently demonstrating this by clear-cutting older growth forests that had grown naturally in community, with a lot of diverse and different types of trees, other plants, and a rich soil, and trying to replace them with monoculture trees to grow the specific type of wood they wanted to harvest. And if the earth was just dirt that obeyed us in you hear the domination in that? The earth's just dirt, it's gonna do what I want, right? Monoculture trees either failed at seedlings or were sickly. These trees were vulnerable to infestations, and the soil lacked the microbial life to further support their growth. Further research eventually led to the really beautiful book, Finding the Mother Tree, and found that birch trees, which for the lumber industry, not helpful, but they're essential for healthy conifers, and fungi, essential for the whole forest. I love this quote. A forest is myriad life forms, contributing to each other's survival and growth, even if some of them periodically devours others. Even that devouring helps preserve the whole. A forest is a community, a symbiosis, a society, almost a symphony of lives. There is such a thing as society, even without human beings being around. A forest has that aesthetic force to show us the interdependence and transformative processes that we may not always see. This symbiosis and symphony of life is also heard in the remarks of gratitude and joy from mission specialist Christina Koch from the Artemis II mission. She described a crew is people or a group that is in it all the time, no matter what, that is stroking together every minute with the same purpose, that is willing to sacrifice silently for each other, that gives grace, and that holds accountable. A crew has the same cares and needs, and a crew is inescapably, beautifully, dutifully linked. So when we saw Tiny Earth, people asked our crew what impressions we had. And honestly, what struck me wasn't just Earth, it was all the blackness around it. Earth is just this lifeboat hanging undisturbingly in the universe. She paused and named that she may still have more to learn. I know I haven't learned everything that this journey has yet to teach me, but there is one thing I know, and that is at planet Earth, you are a crew. So now I'm going to invite us to sing Blue Boat Home. And I know we just sang that last week. So today I'm going to welcome you to use your hymnals if you need them and invite us to sing Blue Boat Home, looking at this image and contemplating the deep expanse of space. This is the lifeboat we share in interdependence, love, joy, and transformation. Please rise, embody your spirit, and join our voices in hymn 1064.
Far away from our home.
So thank you all for our vibrant discussion today. Let us find our position of meditation for last few breaths together. I'd like to offer our closing words. Let us prepare to go forth from this sanctuary with calm and open hearts. Make peace and grow in wholeness. Give of the integrity of the spirit of life within ourselves and all living things, being fully present to each moment of this one wild, wonderful, beautiful life. Amen.
And now we're going to extinguish our chalice with an excerpt from the Earth Day prayer that Catherine shared with us during her sermon. So those words are written in your order of service. As best we can each day, and to love you, spirit of earth and ocean, stars and rocks, beings of every kind, not least our human neighbors, to love this glorious whole as we love ourselves. For we are you and you are us. Blessed be.